Some years ago, I described the necessity of translation. See, necessary and impossible. Did I really say yet? It's and, I think. Necessary and impossible. Some years ago, I described the necessity of translation as follows. There is actually a more complex description for those who are interested, which can be found in the journal Parallax. Here it is. There is a language we learn first, mixed with the pre-phenomenal, in other words, before we appear as a collection of changeful forms of appearance, which stamps the meta-psychological, in other words, that which is not available to our psychology or mental movements, circuits of lingual memory, in other words, abstract, activable memory as in a computer, within the history of the language. In other words, before the generating of a personal memory. Let me read the sentence again. There is a language we learn first, mixed with the pre-phenomenal, which stamps the metapsychological circuits of lingual memory. The child invents a language, beginning by bestowing signification upon a part object, bottle, breast, finger. The parents learn this language. Because they themselves speak a named language, the child's language gets inserted into the named language, which has a history before the child's birth and will continue to produce a history after the child's death. As the child begins to navigate this language, it is beginning to access the entire interior network of the language, all its possibility of articulations, for which the best metaphor that can be found, especially in the age of computers, is memory. By comparison, cultural memory is a crude concept of narrative rememorization that attempts to privatize the historical record. All languages are originary in this special way and establishes the reflexivity of language as habit. Now, there's Gramsci with his spinal tuberculosis, in pain, dying, sometimes his urine caught, bleeding in that narrow bed, but still writing. And there's the Italian translation. In the English translation, they begin from the ruling class, which comes much later in his notebooks. Gramsci's first little fragment on the subaltern is 2, item 2. This ruling class crap that they bring in from later to begin the section is item 5. So that this is immediately giving over the subaltern, God knows why, to the ruling classes. So you see here, first of all, this notes on Italian history. That is not Gramsci either. What made them deal with it this way? You ask yourselves. So, as I say, this is claiming the right to translate without any consideration of the original. Since I'm with readers, writers, and a wonderful publisher who actually gives us authority, I thought that this would be appropriate to show you what happens when forget the necessity and the impossibility which deal with the way we are, but then look at how within that double bind we claim tasks and how such a task can be completely ignored. So the history of the subaltern, methodological criteria. Let me tell you something about methodological criteria. The methodological criteria in section 5 of the Italian in the notebook are supposed to be that which is imposed upon us because history is ruling class. It's kind of an imagining of a different kind of history, not just events and kings, which we will hear of later. We know of those movements. I'm sure there are students of history here, and I know there are historians here, who know very much, very well how that worked. But here Gramsci is trying to think of that.